Class of 98, everybody welcome Alexia Vernon. You're mic'd. Okay, I'm going to step off here.
When I was growing up, my parents didn't always see eye to eye on things. But one area where they were in perfect alignment was that I would go to a Sacred Heart school. Shortly after my parents met, my mother became the school nurse at Convent of the Sacred Heart, and she vowed that if she ever had a daughter, she would name her Ashley, after her favorite student, and that she would go to a network school. Well, my dad fought my mom on the Ashley part. He didn't want me named after a girl who was always sick and in a nurse's office. But he didn't push back on the Sacred Heart education part. When I arrived at Forest Ridge at the start of 6th grade, I had just relocated with my family from Los Angeles to the Northwest. And within what felt like weeks, my confidence went from black and white to Technicolor, which is no small miracle given what I looked like back in 6th grade. Let's just say that puberty had a lot of fun with me. In 6th grade, I ran for class office and won. I was cast as Peter in our class production of Peter Pan. I went to Space Academy. I started dancing for the Pacific Northwest Ballet, but above all else, I found friends who had my back and who invited me to sleepovers. Prior to Forest Ridge, I had never put my voice into a classroom for fear of being wrong, or worse, just being seen as uncool. And while I don't want to suggest that there weren't periods of time that felt a little more telenovela than Technicolor, my time at Forest Ridge fundamentally redirected me away from playing safe and small and competing with other girls towards an affinity for gender issues, leadership development, social entrepreneurship, and social justice. At Forest Ridge, no career path ever felt out of reach. When I was in 6th grade, I was 100% sure that I was going to be a professional ballet dancer and an astronaut. By the time that I got to 9th grade, my plan had evolved a little bit. I was going to be a lawyer, and then a congresswoman, and then a senator, and then the first female president. By senior year, however, I conceded that I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I was starting to get clear on who I wanted to be. I wanted to be somebody who facilitated transformation for others, even if I didn't have a context for what that would look like yet. Senior year was the year that I was one of the leaders of our Kairos retreat, and that experience was a total game changer for me. Never before did I feel so comfortable as I felt in the role of facilitator. It was also the first time that I spoke publicly about having overcome sexual abuse and how that experience had really tested, but also solidified my faith. I can remember going into the presentation that I had to give, shaking. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I clung to my notes the whole time. But one of the gifts of a Forest Ridge education and what I learned through that experience is that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. There are going to be times when you're on the cusp of doing something big where you are going to be overcome with sensation, as I was. And you have to learn how to say thank you and be grateful for it because it means you are being of service in this world. After my presentation, Mr. Mannion came up to me and he said, "Alexia, keep telling your story. You're going to help a lot of people." I suspect that he intuited something that I couldn't at the time. And I thought about those words so many times over the years. After stints in the nonprofit sector, producing the New York City Student Shakespeare Festival, and teaching public speaking and women's studies for a number of universities, I am now the founder and director of Influencer Academy, a women's leadership development program that provides hands-on, skills-based, holistic training in such critical competency areas as public speaking, facilitation, coaching, and stepping into thought leadership. Forest Ridge helped me find my voice so that I could help other women find theirs. I'm excited I'll be a little bit jealous when I hear plans for the Multimedia Center. It would have been nice to have learned how to shoot and produce and edit videos. It would have been really cool to have learned about podcasting, even if podcasting wasn't really a thing in the 1990s. And it would have been really helpful to have learned how to create ebooks and digital guides. And to be sure, these aren't just skills that are important for speakers and consultants like me. When your daughter steps into her career, which likely is a career that hasn't even been created yet, she'll be tasked with integrating her technological skills with keen problem solving to be able to address the range of problems that her role presents her with. Your daughters have the opportunity not just to learn about these technologies, but to actually use them. And that's really significant. For we know that one of the top reasons why women don't aspire to step into more senior leadership positions is because they experience self-doubt in their ability to perform roles that they have yet to practice. Whether we call that an internal glass ceiling that needs to be shattered or a debilitating case of imposter syndrome, the fix is the same. Give women and girls opportunities to get up on their feet, to practice the roles that they're seeking to step into, to take risks, make mistakes, fail, get back up again, and to, through that process, develop the confidence and the acumen so that they can transfer what they've learned into sustained high performance. When I heard about the opportunity that we in this room have tonight to raise $100,000 and make this a reality, I couldn't help but think to myself that opportunity isn't really the right word. We don't just have an opportunity. We have a responsibility to ensure that all of our daughters are able to collect their 10,000 hours of hands-on experience, as author and futurist Malcolm Gladwell would say, in order to be able to develop their sense of worthiness, but also their skill set to be successful in whatever career they choose to pursue. And to be sure, irrespective of their trajectory, technological skills must factor prominently in those hours. As the mom of a 2-year-old girl, I know that there is no greater privilege than raising a daughter. And there is so much that I want for my Kaya. And near the top of that list, and what I bet features prominently on your list, I want her to know that her legacy is not just what she does with her power and her influence. It's what she leaves behind. Forest Ridge's legacy, it lives on in each and every one of us girls who have come through its doors and gone out into the world and sought to leave it a little bit better than we found it. And that's a legacy that I certainly hope you don't take for granted and invest very generously in this evening. Please raise your torch, and please let's make this Multimedia Center a reality. Thank you.